Future Talk with Shara Evans.
It's 6:13. It is time for some Future Talk with Shara Evans. And this morning, Shara and I are going to be talking about phones. Something in particular, a bit of a hack, Shara.
Well, Mandy, about 2 weeks ago, a new show in the United States called 60 Minutes aired a segment called Hacking Your Phone. And what they did there was they wanted to see how secure mobile phones were. So they decided to give a new iPhone to a state representative, Ted Lieu, from California. And then they put out a challenge to researchers at a German security company called Security Research Labs to try to hack it. And they did. They were able to listen in on the representative's phone calls, read his text messages, and track location. And there was a big kerfluffle about iPhones being hacked. Well, there's good news and bad news in this. The good news is that the hack actually had nothing to do with an iPhone specifically. The bad news is that it has to do with a flaw in global telecommunications networks, and specifically with the signaling that is used to connect and disconnect calls. It's something called Signaling System 7.
So it's actually not anything to do with the phone itself?
No. The only thing that they needed to get to track that particular phone was the phone number. But that phone number could have been affiliated with an Android phone. It could have been affiliated with a older style mobile phone. It could have been my landline.
Wow.
But obviously they're not going to do much in terms of tracking my location with a landline. It's stuck at my house.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about this actual flaw in a bit more detail. We'll just take a short break. And I want to thank you for joining me on Radio West. And this is Future Talk with Shara Evans on Wake Up with Mandy, thanks to Proud's Jewellers. We're talking about what was thought to be a mobile phone hack that was presented on 60 Minutes, but turns out to be a much larger problem. Can you tell me more, Shara?
So the hack in question is actually a security flaw in telephone network signaling. It's called FS7, and depending on whether the carrier that I use has patched that flaw, that would impact whether my phone or your phone is vulnerable. And to get at my phone, the hackers would have to penetrate the carrier. So if I'm using a Telstra mobile, they'd have to hack into Telstra and then be able to find what's going on in terms of my particular phone number. So it's not that easy to do, but nonetheless, I think the carriers do need to step up and either fix the flaw or tell people that that flaw isn't there. But there's one other thing that the hackers did with this iPhone, and this is something that everybody needs to be aware of. They set up a fake wireless network that was looking like a hotel network, and the representative attached his phone to that network. And from there, they were able to get a whole bunch of other information from the phone. And that is something that hackers use all the time. It's actually a much simpler thing to do than hacking into the global telecommunications network. So when you're connecting by Wi-Fi, make sure that it's really the network you think that you're attaching to.
And Shara, I think one of the important questions to ask you that I think my listeners would love to know the answer to, and that is, what can we do about it?
Well, if you're really afraid that your phone calls are going to be listened in on, the best option is to not use your normal phone network and to use programs or apps that have end-to-end encryption.
Well, Shara, let's hope that the carriers of the world are getting onto this ASAP and that nobody becomes a victim of phone hacking. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure, Mandy. Chat soon.